Welcome, readers. Today on Book Chat, joining me are my three book bloggers, one series read-along co-host, Casey and Nicola. We're discussing Arcana Rising, the fourth book in the Arcana Chronicles by Kresley Cole. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and welcome to Book Chat here on the Shelf Addiction Podcast. Join in this book discussion by finding me on Twitter as well as my book blogger co-host. Tweet at us using our special hashtag 3bloggers1series. That's using the numeric 3 and 1. Again, that's hashtag 3bloggers1series. If Twitter isn't your thing, no worries. You can join the Facebook group, Shelf Addiction Official, and talk about the series with us there, as well as other bookish topics. I hope to hear your thoughts on this book discussion. The links for everything related to this episode are below in the show notes. Before we get started, I have to issue a spoiler warning. This is a roundtable book discussion, so nothing is off limits. You've been warned. Hey guys, welcome back to another read-along discussion, and today we are talking about Book 4 in the Arcana Chronicles, Arcana Rising by Kresley Cole. So joining me as always are my three read-along co-hosts and friends, Casey and Nicola. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Nicola, you go first.
Hey everybody, my name's Nicola, and I've been blogging over at alphaheroes.net since 2007, and I'm just super happy to be here.
Hey everybody, I'm Casey. I've been blogging or writing reviews over at Literary Escapism since 2012 and editing at Heartful of Ink since 2017, and I'm so excited to be here.
Yay, we got some stuff to talk about. We all just finished the book, pretty much. I finished last night.
Yesterday afternoon.
Okay. I finished 5 minutes ago. I finished and then ran to my laptop.
That's the best. So you guys are going to get like our unfiltered, raw emotions. We have like barely no processing time. So
yeah, I sat up and yelled, "What?" And then I was like, "Oh shit, it's 12:30. I have to go."
I felt so disgusted with the end. I want to start at the end today. Can we
start
do
at
that?
The end.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm like, who in the actual F gets pregnant in the apocalypse? Like,
yeah, what the fuck? She said she was on birth control, but apparently that never happened.
Right. Which is weird.
It is weird, and I didn't really like that twist myself very much.
No.
But I do have to wonder if this is how they're going to break the rules of the game. Somehow. I don't know.
And I didn't really get how did someone cast a spell or...
So she went to Paul and asked for a Depo-Provera shot.
Mm-hmm.
And she thought she got it. And then Paul says none of that ever happened.
Right.
No, it didn't happen on the page, so all we know is what Evie knows, which is she might be crazy.
So this made me wonder, either someone cast a spell on her and she thought something happened that didn't, or Paul isn't as good as he appears, and maybe he has been trying to kill her grandmother and do stuff to her the whole time.
I mean,
I wondered about that because so there was a point in there where it seemed pretty obvious that the grandmother had had a stroke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the one side of her face was drooping, and so it said something about how he was giving her pills. Like, I've never heard of any pills for a stroke. Have you guys? I mean,
no,
what would
no.
That be? So that made me wonder a little bit.
Yeah, but who would he be working for? Like, is he working for the Emperor?
I don't know.
Is he a spy?
I kind of know, so I can't tell you guys.
But his name is Paul, right? He's human, so he's not part of the game. Arik found him long before the Flash, and he hired him to be the EMT to take care of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So who would have gotten to him first? Or is it Cersei, because she's walking around the house?
Yeah, she is.
That could be. And Lark was getting kind of weird in this book too, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's not on board with the whole deal about how Death is going to kill her. You know.
Would anybody be on board with that?
I have so many... Okay, I enjoyed the book more than I thought I would, but I still had so many problems. Like, why this? Why that? Why? Okay, so the biggest thing... Okay, so let's put the pregnancy aside, because I don't think we're going to figure that out right now. But why the entire book, she is complaining and wanting revenge on Ricker, and she's not really doing anything. Like, yeah, she's doing a little bit of training, but it's haphazard, and it seems like she's not even trying that freaking hard. She's not taking advice from her grandmother where she could really get her power to get revenge. She's not doing that. It was kind of just annoying a little bit. Like,
well, her grandmother wanted her to kill everybody in the castle.
Yeah, but who cares what she wants? Evie wants revenge on Ricker, and if you can get what you need to have the right, but if you can get what the power you need and the skills you need to get revenge on the person you want, why not utilize it?
Yeah, and Evie was doing that at the beginning of the book, which I really loved. Like, this was the first time Evie was being powerful and, you know, stealing food from everybody and turning into a, what did she call it? Like a hat guy or a bad guy?
Black hat.
Yeah, black hat. She was doing that, and I really loved that because I was like, yeah, Evie kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, she meets Death and she's like, I'm just going to make him happy.
I'm just going to sex him up and make him the happiest guy on the planet. That's all we're going to do.
Yeah. And maybe I'll get revenge, but my number one priority is making him happy.
Well, her whole journey and her whole kick-ass thing was to get to Tess so that they could reverse time and save the army from Richter.
Yeah.
And then when she found Tess was dead, then she had to give up that plan, and I think she floundered for a while after that.
More than a while, the rest of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently went crazy and imagined things. Supposedly.
Well, she did get gnawed on by the bagmen.
That did happen, yeah.
That was gross.
It was.
It was. It was. But I don't know. I just feel like even her grandmother being here, I mean, that is what set her on this journey. I have to get to my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing that kicked this whole thing off, because who knows where she would be if she hadn't gone to look for her grandmother. And so now she's here. This woman has the knowledge. She has the books. She's, you know, I just feel like it was such a letdown about how she treats her grandmother and how she utilizes her grandmother while she's alive. I'm like, it was kind of like an afterthought. Like, okay.
Well, she was disappointed too, right? Because her grandma was kind of wacky.
She treated her grandma the same way she treated Matthew and refused to listen. And her grandma was trying to warn her because she said she can see into the future and have feelings, not as much as Matthew, but she can. And she was talking about the rat and the salamander and the snake killing the tree. And Evie's like, oh, you're just crazy. Oh, let me just pat you on the head. You're just a crazy old lady.
I didn't get that.
Did you learn nothing from Matthew?
I didn't get that from her. I got I don't know what this means. I probably mean something, but I don't know what it means. So
I got that she was only half-assed listening because her grandmother wanted her to do A, she wants to do B, so she's not going to pay attention at all. Not really, because see, to me, I'm like, why can't you do both? You take the knowledge, okay, and use it for what you want. Just because you get the knowledge from her doesn't mean you have to do exactly what she says.
Exactly.
But you know,
what do you guys think the salamander is? What do you think all that meant?
Well, after we found out that she went crazy and didn't get birth control from Paul, the rat means, you know, that there's a rat in the midst. And I mean, as soon as she said there's a rat, I was like, that's obvious symbolism that everybody always uses. The salamander, I don't know. Maybe soul? and how he was, working against Richter and Zara.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he's an inside man.
Mm-hmm.
Inside man.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Um,
He is, on a side note about Saul, he is like really, oh God. Okay, so from day zero, I was like, oh, this guy, well, he got his freak on. He got his life together. Okay, he got his business. But in this book, he's like all trying to like, oh, if you weren't so young and this and that. I'm like, oh boy, get out. Like, just go somewhere. As he drags along his, bagger girlfriend and boyfriend.
Zombie.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I
really liked him and Zara in Day Zero. Like, they were my favorite, and now they're the bad guys. And I'm really upset because I'm like, I want to root for you, but you're fighting Evie, so I'm supposed to be against you.
Well, I think Zara's pretty clearly, one to take out. She's playing the game for all it's worth. Soul is, what they say, layered.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously, he could have killed her, right? When instead of having the bagmen go at her, he could have just taken off her head, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't.
I feel like he's that informant that you believe is on your side until they're not.
Yeah,
like
he helped him get away.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't think he's trustworthy this time. It's like Lark, good, bad. So take the good when you can, but
don't be surprised,
when it goes south. So, but it shouldn't take long before Richter and Zara figure out that they're not dead because nobody's icons will show up, right?
Yes,
yeah,
true.
I liked that whole scene though, where they basically taught the other three how to use powers that they didn't know they had.
Mm-hmm.
So they taught Jules how to make a lightning net, and they taught Finn how to do actual magic and not just an illusion.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best part.
And he was like, oh, I've dreamed about this, but I didn't think it was real. And Death was like, it's very real. Just do it. Save us.
Yeah.
Poor Death. He's like, what am I doing?
He's like, I gotta teach these fools what to do, but now I'm also giving away things that are gonna hurt me probably later.
Because he wants to be the best husband ever. And I'm rolling my eyes.
Right, me too. I'm like,
out of that situation if they hadn't all worked together. So,
yeah,
they needed that. Although Evie didn't do very much
because her powers are repressed,
diminished.
Or
I think it's because of the baby.
This whole baby thing, I can't stand it. I just can't.
I hate baby plot lines too. I really do. I'm sorry.
I was not happy with that twist. I was like, oh man, do we have to?
Yeah. So maybe it is because of the baby that her powers are weakening. Although sometimes, like when you have the little baby trope, they'll say that your powers will change or enhance because of the baby, not diminish usually. Well, like for example, like in the superhero realm, I'll just use that. So like the woman on The Flash, when she, got pregnant, her baby had her having abilities where she could hear people. Okay. She could read minds and stuff, and she couldn't before she was pregnant.
Borrowing the baby's powers.
Yeah. Or it's like elevating maybe something that you kind of already had, but it's giving a push. Or, even if we want to talk about Twilight, right? I mean, she had this extreme control because, basically that was one of her things, and the baby kind of amplified all of that. I don't know. I hear more about what you get from getting pregnant versus what's taken away when you get pregnant.
Well, all I can say is that fatigue is sort of the universal thing that happens when you get pregnant. And so not being able to do as much and, having to use your blood would be bad for the baby too. So I don't know.
Good thing she's kind of sort of starting to learn how to grow plants without wasting blood.
Yep. Yep. but it depletes them, right, when they use their power. So how does that affect a baby, right? Whatever depleting means.
I don't know. And
but I think that's
I'm
why
about to say I don't care. I don't know.
but I think that's why she was getting weaker. That's my, and it's not because I've read ahead. It's just that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Question. Do you think Arik would be able to touch his own baby, or would he kill the baby with his touch?
Well, he killed his parents.
He did.
Yeah.
But the baby has some of Evie's blood, and he's able to touch her. So it's probably going to be hit or miss.
It's not something to really experiment with.
50-50 chance.
So
yeah, whoever's genes are more dominant, probably. Or heck, can the baby touch people and not kill people?
Maybe the baby.
Would the baby kill Evie as it was being born?
Oh,
some Twilight stuff in here.
I confess I have never read Twilight.
Well, the baby in Twilight was trying to eat the mother because, the baby drinks blood.
Oh, God.
So slowly draining the life out of her at the end.
Yeah, I did hear something about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. So we were talking about the information that she got from her grandmother and from the books. What did you guys think about the revelations about the Fool?
I wasn't surprised. I'm like, he's so shady. I was
like, fucking finally.
I'm like, Matthew is the worst. Like, that little brat. He is such a brat. He is just manipulating people. And why? This is what you get. You are so dumb for treating him like he's a baby. He is not a baby. He is fooling you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But he rescued Jack.
For a reason.
He's manipulating. He said that.
Yeah.
Because he's manipulating Jack and a lot of people.
Yeah. It's not for from the kindness of his heart. He's doing it, because he's going to try to get something out of it. I mean, he even says to Jack at one point, he's like, your future isn't behaving.
Yeah, I like that. And when Arik said basically the same thing you guys have been saying all along to Evie, you insist on treating him like a dim schoolboy, but he's the smartest person that's ever lived or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Because he remembers everything, every game. He knows how to play it. He knows everybody's weaknesses. He knows all their futures. He knows how to kill them. He could easily win the game.
That's the question, though. Why doesn't he? Why doesn't he just use all that and, if he's that powerful, why doesn't he win every game?
Maybe he gets more fun out of manipulating the game than winning the game.
Do you think he seems like he's having fun?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. He's sick in the head, maybe. Who knows? I mean, he's not in the corner, rubbing his hands together with a cackle or anything, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If he's set up as this all-powerful, all-knowing character, why isn't he winning, every game? What's his weakness? We don't know what his weakness is, do we?
Maybe he doesn't want to stay alive and chooses to die.
That could be.
Because he's already going crazy knowing everything, and if he was going to wander around for centuries by himself, still knowing everything, that would drive anybody crazy. It drives Death crazy. He's not as all-knowing as the Fool.
That's a good point.
So maybe he just consciously chooses to lose the game.
Yeah, or maybe he chooses, okay, well, this round, I like Evie. Next round, I like this person. They're nice to me. I don't know. Yeah. He changes what he wants every round, maybe. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe he's going to support different people instead of actually trying to win.
Maybe. So I do think that somehow the final book will wrap up, and I think that the rules of the game will be broken. I think that they won't have to kill each other off. I don't know this, but I think that that's what they're going for. So maybe that's what's making the Fool extra crazy this time, is he just kind of can't end that.
And honestly, so Arik and Evie never got together before, and they sure haven't had a baby before.
Right.
At one point, when Matthew and Jack were talking, he mentioned something about a long, unbroken line. And I don't remember where that was, so I can't look it up. But yeah, he mentioned that long, unbroken line, and with you saying, maybe this is the end game. Maybe he had that in mind this entire time, and he wanted Death to win every game, so Death would always love Evie, and this would eventually happen.
That would be cool.
Oh, like he's playing a really long game?
Yeah.
A multi-game game.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one who could.
Yeah, and he's the only one who could.
I kind of like that.
I like that theory, but I still don't want to just say he's good. I'm not prepared to do that. I'm not prepared to be made fun of by the fool trying to trick me.
I don't think anybody is all the way good in this book.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, like, he's not a good guy, but if that's his long-term game, is to end the game, that would be fucking crazy. And he is crazy, so maybe it is.
Well, by not letting Evie know that, Jack was alive, he was getting what he wanted because, obviously she couldn't go but 2 seconds, as old boy said. He's only been dead a little while. He couldn't wait. Yeah. Because he just wanted to keep him away, keep him a secret long enough for her to get preggers. And okay, it doesn't matter now, maybe.
Can we talk about how Jack survived?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm so upset that Selena just pushed him into a freaking
mine shaft.
Yeah, mine shaft, and that's it. And he survived. Yeah. It was like the lava didn't follow him. Selena couldn't jump in with him. She had to die. Like, why?
I mean, it is so funny to me because the last book we go through all this. Hey, how could he survive? How? What? When? Where?
Yeah.
What? And now it's this, and it's like so lackluster. Like, oh, that's it. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I didn't hate it. I think Richter was following Selena's signal, so if she had jumped in with him, that would have put him in more danger. So she might have been being selfless there.
I just wish she had lived longer because I liked her.
It did mention that he had to run from the lava down in the mine shaft.
But can anybody really outrun lava?
I don't know. It depends on the geography, I suppose.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not going to try to find out either. So
I don't think that's possible. So,
yeah.
I didn't hate it. So I kind of thought he was going to survive. The time I read.
I knew he would because, I mean, come on, they need the love triangle to continue in some kind of way.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but
now this is the hardest one. So, like, if I had to guess, so let's say Death dies by some way, he dies. So now here we go with Evie pregnant with Death's baby, and Jack is going to be like, "I'll be the bigger man and take care of you and your, bratty kid."
Your Arcana spawn.
Yeah, so he'll be the bigger guy after all.
The Hanged Man.
He's
Arcana. It kept saying, well, he saw Matthew's. Oh my God, tableau? I can't word today.
Tableau?
He saw the tableau face.
I don't remember.
And then he kept saying every up was down and everything up was down, and the hanged man is always upside down.
Yeah. Yep.
So he's Arcana, which kind of pissed me off because I wanted him to be human, but now Evie can never have her humanity back.
But they better explain that really well. How come he's not seeing everything else like everyone else? Like,
because the card was inactivated, quote unquote. Remember in Day Zero, we had that inactivated or redacted storyline.
Yeah, but why?
There's I don't remember where it said it, and I might be spoilering something, so I apologize. But somewhere it says that the card activates after they make their first kill.
But who did he kill?
I don't know.
Is he getting Selena's death then?
Do you think he's been activated?
No.
Yeah, because he can see Matthew, and he healed from that wound that was going to eat his entire leg.
You're right.
I don't know. I
know the answer, so I'm trying.
Don't
know.
spoil it. I'm just upset.
I'm trying not to. Yeah. So that is a very good theory.
I mean, we said the whole time, me and Casey have been saying, he's got to be something more.
Yeah.
I agree. He seems more than human.
Oh, poor Jack. I feel bad for him because he's like, I got to get back to my Evie. Oh, gosh. And then he's like, wait, what? You know, maybe I shouldn't. I'm like, oh, God, he playing games with you, boy. Games? And you falling for it.
You saw that mask flicker thing in front of Matthew's face. I did not read that as the tableau. So that is, even reading it twice through, I didn't get that. So that is, that's cool. So good job, Casey.
So I saw it like, oh, it's the tableau, because, you know, he's never seen that before. And why would he suddenly think that he could?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just assumed. And they kept saying up is down. Mm-hmm. Like she said that 3 times, I think. I'd have to go back and count. But they said it a lot. And the Hanged Man, which is the card that's inactivated, is, you know, somebody being hung by his foot. Mm-hmm. So up is down.
Total sense. Hasn't he said that before, though? Not just in this book?
Maybe?
I don't know.
I was just paying more attention in this book because I was like, oh my God, he is Arcana. He is the card. He's not human. Up is down.
Yeah. You know, he might be able to kill Death. He might.
But they're friends.
Yeah.
They are frenemies.
He wouldn't be able to kill Evie's baby's daddy.
Look, he's okay. Ark is only standing up for him because he's dead. If he knew he was alive, he'd probably take the shit back. Like, okay, look, take it all back.
I don't think that they could be best friends and share Evie and be a triad like Soul and his bagger boyfriend and girlfriend.
Jack is not sharing, okay? Jack is not sharing.
Alternating days. You get Mondays, I get Tuesdays.
Wow. Yeah, do
none of that.
Little reverse harem thing going on there. I thought it was kind of a funny moment where somebody said something about not smelling the bagmen, and Evie was like, "Oh yeah, it's that's just the slime. It's not them." And they're like, "How do you know this?"
She spent time with him. And they're like, "Oh damn, Evie, get it on, girl."
Yeah.
Which he wanted, and she even said he was pretty, and she was attracted to him. If she'd met him before she met
Jack,
Jack,
a good pair with their powers.
They would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sun and the flare. That would be a good match.
Complimentary.
Mm-hmm.
They kept mentioning how Evie has to live this game so she can bring the Earth back, because nobody else can really bring plants back. Do you think that she would have to have the sun guy with her because the real sun is just gone?
I think both of those comments are flawed, because supposedly when the game is over, the Earth kind of goes back to normal. So the sun should come out anyway, and then, you know, there's latent seeds that she can feel. So I think that it's just all about winning, right? I think if somebody else won a traditional game, the Earth would come back anyway. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they said that before, like when the game is over, kind of things.
Yeah,
revert.
The minor cards fix everything up. The minor arcana. Which I think this is the first time we've heard anything about them, right? Other than...
They were mentioned by Matthew at one point, but she thought he said miners, like MINERS, the people in the mines, because she just ignores Matthew.
Well, but I mean, that's a reasonable mistake, right? Because all the slayers.
Yeah, that is reasonable.
So. And it's not like Matthew is especially coherent, you know?
True.
And this was the first time they were confirmed by Death. and he's been around for 2,000 years.
Yeah,
so.
or he remembers all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know, talking about remembering all of them, that part where, you know, they're all trying to figure out, well, he and Evie are trying to figure out how they can remember this life if they die.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow.
So they're
going
to ask Cersei to help them out.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the Chronicles.
Mm-hmm. Or get a spell, but then they're like, do you trust her to do a spell that won't kill us anyway? Or, you know, or do whatever.
She's definitely kind of, as you would say, Tamara, shady in this book. It's like,
yeah.
Don't trust me. I don't trust you. I'm in an alliance, but that's it.
Even then, like, she's growing her power. She could take out the mountain or their safe house in a heartbeat. She's walking around their house with them not knowing or being invited or anything. So what's her? Yeah. They like just see her wet footprints.
And she listens to everything they say.
Mm-hmm. So what's her game plan? Just sit in the water and take everybody out and then replenish the earth with water because everybody needs water?
I'm not so sure.
It's hard to say.
I'm not so sure any of them really care what happens after the end of the game.
They just want to win because they don't want to die.
So they're getting these hints that if Richter wins, that would be really bad for the Earth because he just likes destruction for its own sake. But, I don't see any of them. That's not how the game is set up. I mean, look at, say, Jules, right? Let's say he won. What could he do to fix the Earth? Throw lightning at it? That's not how the game is set up. I don't think that the winner is in charge of fixing the Earth, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
But the Earth, I don't think has ever been as demolished as it is right now. Because, the last game happened with the plague. There were still normal humans around growing food and eating and surviving and living their lives.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have to worry about bringing plants back or the sun disappearing or no water. This time they have all of that to worry about.
Although it doesn't seem as dire anymore. I don't really recall in this book them talking about, I guess there are still lack of resources. They talked about old boy shriveling down to bones, losing all his weight. But with the water, stretching and growing, and it just seems like it's not as difficult as it was.
Just need the sun to come back, and I think then the Earth would heal itself. But that's anyway. I don't think that that's a huge plot element, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Evie thinks that that's a good reason for her to win, right? But
yeah.
Does she want to win anymore?
Has she what?
Because she kept talking. I said, does she want to win anymore? Because she kept talking about how she doesn't want to live without death, and all she wants to do is get revenge for Jack.
Yeah,
and then just kind of
she comes out and says that she doesn't want to win. She doesn't want to live for eternity.
Yeah.
So
I can't. Sorry, me and Evie, we just don't see things the same way. That's all.
That's shocking, Tamara. I have so much in common with fictional.
The 17-year-old white girl
in Louisiana on a farm.
I can't relate at all. I can't. My goodness.
Like I said earlier, she was so badass in the beginning, and then she just fell apart. And I was like, Evie, no.
Do you guys
go back to being a badass?
Do you guys think Grandma killed her husband or killed her dad?
Yes. I'm like, oh, she hated him.
He was in the way.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Uh-huh.
Before Grandma started talking about him, there was one brief mention, and she's like, "Oh, I miss my dad." And I was like, "Are we going to finally find out what happened to him? Is he part of?"
The grandma said something about a cane crusher, and she's like, "Oh, he fell in the bayou." maybe after you got
right.
crushed in the cane crusher, you got done.
Right.
Yeah. Evie's mom was just starting to believe about the tarot again. And then she met Evie's dad and was like, nope, I don't believe at all. We're going to move to New Hampshire, New England, or wherever.
North.
And then he died.
Mm-hmm.
And they stayed.
Yeah, she killed him.
I think so.
Oh, definitely.
I think so.
So what about Evie making Death this ring? What do you think that whole thing is about? Like, she doesn't want to give him the ring. She wants to give him the ring. She doesn't. I mean, was that just...
It's just Evie being indecisive again.
So you don't think there's anything more to it than her just being her?
The fact that she has to give it to him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. This is where I join you guys on the impatient with Evie bench. Like, oh my God, just give it to him. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, really, what's holding her back? Is it that Jack was her quote-unquote intended husband?
I don't know. The last time she went to it was, they got interrupted. The moment was interrupted by some commotion.
That's what I'm like, is there some kind of power in giving him this ring that we don't know about? Like, does it take something from her to give him this ring?
She can control the wood.
Yeah.
So in theory, like if she puts this ring on his finger, she has a weapon on him at all times.
Oh, that's exactly why I give it to him.
Has poison.
Pinch his finger off right there.
She can poison him anytime they kiss.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But, with this little tiny piece of wood, she could cut off his finger or do something else to him, I guess.
Grow a vine from it.
Because she had given joy to other people in the past and then killed them that way.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't know. It's Evie being Evie.
Everything's a symbol.
Everything's a symbol. Even the bag pointing in a direction.
Even though I complain a lot about Evie, I did get through this book really fast. Like, so fast.
Yeah.
It was really quickly. It was a real quick read, and it moved a lot, even though a lot of time didn't pass in this book. Not really.
A lot of time did pass.
Well, if you count, okay, let's discount the time where she was knocked out for however many weeks. Like,
that's true. It just said weeks, right? It didn't say 6 weeks or 2 weeks or.
Right. But I mean, I just feel like the plot wasn't driven for it that much. Maybe I should say it that way. We got a major reveal about Jack returning, which is cool.
Possibly being the hanged man.
Right, possibly that. So that was a cool reveal. We got the shock of a century that she's pregnant. But I don't know. I
had the same feeling. Like the game didn't go very far in this book. And while it was a quick read, I think all these books are pretty quick reads. I was frustrated at the end because not enough had happened. Like we learned stuff, but stuff didn't happen. And so I was a little frustrated with that at the end of this book. Like, I want more of these Arcana to die. I want them to figure out how they're going to break the rules of the game. I want progress.
Did anybody die in this book?
They found out about Tess.
Okay. No, that was off page.
But it was off page.
Yeah.
But Tess is the only...
So, chapter 1 started on day 382. Then chapter 49, which is the last chapter, was on day 512.
So that's
over 100 days with only Tess
3 months, a little over 3 months, right? Yeah. Or no, 4 months. Like 4 months, about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say about 4 months. And only one person accidentally died. Yeah, it was really slow in that sense. Mm-hmm. And I thought the game was pushing them, like in the last book before day 0. I thought they were being pushed to find each other and kill each other. Yeah. Especially when they had their fort and everybody was coming together and the lovers were right there and they all wanted to fight. And then this book is like, oh, we're going to just do 4 months of nothing.
I guess we can thank Matthew for that because he was blocking the calls or whatever.
Yeah. And there was a mention that they were all sort of recuperating and regaining their strengths. But except
But there's only 2 books left. Like,
well,
it better not be slow, and then run for the finish line in the last
you know what I
book.
found kind of interesting is I read the afterword in this book, and when she finished this book, I think she thought that the next book was going to wrap up the series. Yeah.
What?
Because if you read the afterword, it says something about the next book being the end of it all. But it's not, because there's one more.
Yeah.
So
It says it'll come to a close in 2017. The cards will always live on. It's 2019 and we're still waiting for the last book. So,
yeah, I think
So I wonder if that means the next book will be kind of like a ending where we're all like, well, where did that come from? Because she decided to extend the book, kind of thing.
the next one's interesting. It's I liked it, so I won't say anything more than that. But it's things happen.
Oh, things happen. That's good.
Stuff happens. I think
you know,
information is revealed.
Earth rotates.
One thing that popped out at me on this reading that didn't the first time through is the comment about how Evie's patron goddess is Aphrodite and is it Demeter? So
Demeter.
it made me start wondering who the other ones were, right? So is Death Hades? So which would be weird because his wife was Demeter's daughter. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh. Persephone for 6 months with the pomegranate seeds. But I was thinking more about Matthew being like Odin. So I don't know. I was maybe gonna ponder that a little bit.
Well, are they only Greek gods, or are they all the gods from every religion?
I think it's everything goes, is what I understand. I mean, I could be wrong, but the idea was that they came together from all different dimensions or something. But Odin sort of fits because he's the all-knowing, and you know, he hung from the tree of life for however long, and he gave up an eye, which you know, it makes Matthew kind of crazy to see. So I don't know. It just I don't know if it matters to the story, but it's kind of a fun side thought, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'd love to know what mythology she's picking from and choosing and putting with everybody.
Is the tarot kind of European in origin? I don't even know.
I don't know. I know nothing about it, honestly. I'm not even going to try to front. I don't know. And I haven't looked into it at all after starting this series. It has not motivated me to look up more about, you know, tarot cards and all of that. I'm kind of like, we'll see. Because I feel like she's probably taking what she wants and leaving the rest anyway to suit.
I did look up what all the cards were at one point. So this says it's an Italian origin, so it makes sense that it'd be focused on sort of Greek and Roman mythology.
We're like, okay.
So, yeah. Okay. Layers, right?
Yeah, right.
Layers. I mean, I'd love to sit down and talk with her one day about how she created this world and what, you know, mythology she was pulling from and what in the tarot she knows and what she used and what she didn't use. But, like, I'd like a whole book on that,
well,
please.
There were a few notes at the end of this one that said, you know, each book was she had pulled one card to be kind of inspired by, and I think this one was the Ten of Swords. So it wasn't one of the majors. Yeah. So this one was about standing up at your, you know, getting up from your worst nightmare and moving on, right?
Well, Evie did move on, I guess, kind of, and now she's gonna regret it.
Maybe. Good, bad. Good, bad.
Because that was her whole thing. She never wanted to get pregnant. She didn't want to do it with Jack. She talked about it a lot before she had sex with Arik. Like, she was like, I don't want a baby. I don't want to have a baby. I don't want to bring a baby into this world. I'm good. And then it ends with her pregnant. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Say that if you get the Empress in a tarot reading, it is about fertility. So it's not just plants.
Well, she can deal with that if she survives.
Couldn't she wait until she was older than 17 years old? Like, I know it's the end of the world and they're all probably going to die soon, but she should be
18 by now. It's been more than a year since The Flash. So she's legal.
I thought she turned 16 on The Flash. She mentioned being 17. She told the Sun that she's 17. True. And I don't think she had a birthday yet.
So was it her 16th birthday on The Flash?
I think it was her 16th birthday on The Flash.
And Lord knows she acts like a child, so.
It's YA. This is the stuff you guys love.
I know, but oh my God.
Is it though? I don't know. Like, I feel like that would be true a year ago, but today, I don't know. I haven't read much YA lately, other than what we're reading.
Okay.
So, anyway, let's rate this thing. Let's rate it right now, and then we'll just wrap this up. And we finished this conversation in the Facebook group, guys. So make sure you're a part of the Facebook group so we can talk about this some more there. Okay,
that's a fun place to do it.
Yes, Casey, you give your rating first.
I guess I'm gonna go with 4 stars. Like, it was really good. It was engaging. I'm still upset with Evie, but that's me with like every book. No, it's good, and I want to know what happens, and I literally sat up and screamed, "What?" at the end of this book before running here to talk about it. So it's good, it's engaging, it gets all the emotions, but oh my God, Evie drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving this one a 4 also, just because it's still readable, and I still can't wait to get to the end of this series and find out what happens. I felt like not enough. There wasn't enough advancement of the series arc in this book to make it a 5. Mm-hmm. So,
okay,
it was definitely a filler book.
Mm-hmm. And I too give it a 4, only because of my excitement while reading. And I'm not going to say I didn't completely hate some of the sex in the book, even though it was really mild. It's mild, but you knew what was going on, right? Read between the lines.
They're getting kinky.
Yeah, I'm like, they in the shower doing it? What? They got all this? Okay, so anyway.
In the dance studio, too?
I know. We know him in the dances, right? We already know. Anyway, I gave it a 4 because, I had a good time while I was reading it. And like Casey, I kind of hate Evie a little bit. But, I'm still involved and I'm still, excited to see what happens because I got to know how it all ends. I want to, and I better be happy at the end. That's all I got to say.
I don't know if we can be happy with however this book turns out.
I know, it's driving me crazy.
We're just going to be annoyed with Evie and her decisions.
It's driving me crazy to try to figure out how are they going to break the game? Are they going to play by the rules and kill everybody off? I don't know. It's killing me a little bit.
Yeah, ditto. So you guys, let us know what you thought of this book. What quirks did you find that bothered you or didn't? Or did you love it? Did you love everything? Let us know your thoughts. And again, we'll talk about it more in the Facebook group. So I think we're done. Are we done, ladies?
I think we're done.
I'm done.
All right, guys. We will catch you guys next month. And until then, happy reading. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's book chat episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review. You can follow me on Twitter at Shelf Addiction. Most importantly, you can share this podcast with friends and family that enjoy all things bookish, including author interviews. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy reading.